Good evening, my loves. Welcome to tonight's late night live. You are here on Destination Deanna. I am Deanna, the love guide, your gracious host. Um, Tonight's a special night. I mean, it's always special every Monday. I love spending this time with you all, but tonight is the first installment of a new series that I am doing called The Art of Love Attraction. And if you are new here, let me just say, please consider Destination Deanna your self-help learning library for all things love. Primarily, I cover love attraction because that is what I teach. But we talk about all things concerning relationships with an intention in mind to equip you to be the best you can be, to be the best partner you can be in relationships, and for you to be able to attract the most elevated love experiences that you can. So please, if this is your first time, let me know who you are, where you're listening or watching from, and I hope that you'll stay. So with that in mind, let's get to today's topic. So this is going to be part one of what is right now a 4-part series. So I have the 4 parts, and honestly, it's shaping up to have even more parts. I'm obviously not going to give away everything that I teach, but it's going to be pretty good. So tonight's lesson is I want to help you stop having awkward exchanges with men and teach you the art of flirting. So I see some people are already checking in. Oh, my amazing husband. Hi, honey. Thank you for always being here to support. And I always start the lesson off by sharing my intention so I can be very clear about what it is I'm intending to do with this lesson. So my intention is I want to help the ladies specifically tonight, but fellas, you're always welcome, and we always value your input and opinions on these lessons. So just because I'm kind of targeting the women with what I'm teaching, it does not mean that you can't get any value by being here, listening, and also supporting, sharing the male perspective, getting your questions answered as well. So my intention is I'd like to help the ladies stop having awkward exchanges and missing opportunities with men when it comes to flirting. I want to introduce you to the subtle yet powerful nuances of flirting. So I'm going to break it down, give you examples, and at the end, after the lesson, I'm going to give you all an opportunity to tell me some scenarios, and I'm going to give you some exact, like, flirting 101 that you could apply. Okay, so that's going to be the fun part after we get through the lesson. Now, what I'm not doing, I'm not teaching flirting as a means of manipulation. I really hate that I have to clarify this, but there's quite a few things that I teach that I see kind of people taking as manipulation tactics, and they are not. Everything that I teach, while my focus is women primarily because I'm a woman and I understand that more first-handedly, it's always for the betterment of relationships as a whole. So I'm not going to teach anything that helps you take advantage of men or do anything like that. I'm only going to teach things that help women better themselves, to be better equipped so we can have better relationships. They can be better partners. They can understand men better. They can show up as their elevated selves in these relationships. So let's be clear. I'm not teaching flirting as a means of manipulation, okay? What we are going to explore today is like how it can be an art form, right? That opens the door to genuine connections. Oh, and I see my ladies checking in. Hey, Brianna. Alice, thanks for clarifying. There's a lot of manipulation being taught in these streets. You know what, Alice? And that's why I felt it was really important to get out like right in the beginning, I'm not teaching anything like that. I don't think manipulation is good. Even if you do it, it's not for lasting results. And I'm all about helping you all with lasting results for what you want. Thank you. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First, I want to give you definitions, right? If we're going to be learning things, we need to know what the definitions of them are, like the dictionary definitions. And then I'm going to tell you how we might tweak and apply it a little differently. Okay. So the reason why I'm saying this is the art of flirting, because this is the definition of art. Art is a skill acquired by experience, study, or observation, right? So for all of you ladies and gentlemen that might say, I don't know how to flirt. Like, I'm not a natural. I just don't have that gift. It misses me. This is for you because it's an art, right? That means it's a skill that you can acquire. So by practicing it, by learning, studying, and observing others. Okay, so don't count yourself out. There's hope. Now, the definition of flirt. It's to behave as though attracted to or trying to attract someone. We're all about love attraction here, so that's fine. But for amusement rather than with serious intentions. So here's where we're going to modify a little bit. I'm not advocating to flirt for the sake of flirting. I'm not advocating for flirting for the sake of manipulation. I am, however, advocating for having fun and entertaining possibility. Okay? I don't want you visualizing anyone as your spouse already, your husband or your wife, imagining marrying them already. Like, no, if you see someone and there's attraction, there's interest, have fun and entertain possibility. And for my ladies specifically, what I'm teaching in regards to like using your femininity when it comes to the flirting, think of this as putting yourself in a position to be pursued. We don't pursue. We like masculine men that take the lead and do the pursuing. However, we can flirt and we can put ourselves in a position to be pursued. Okay? So if you want to take notes, now would be the time. Here's where I'm going to get into the real good stuff. Okay? So let's dig deep. What is the art of flirting? Well, let's start. I have listed these things in order, so now you can take the notes. The first thing is confidence is a prerequisite. I'm sorry, a comment's coming in. I'm going to try. Yes, Alice. We're in a position to be pursued. So confidence is a prerequisite. So before you even consider flirting, dating, for that matter, I recommend building up your own confidence. If you're not confident in yourself, if you don't feel beautiful, if you don't feel like you're a catch, it's going to be hard to genuinely have fun, get to know people, and flirt. So I would recommend working on your confidence level. That would be a whole nother lesson, but just in short, I would say if you need to improve your confidence, start to appreciate one thing about yourself a day. I don't know, you could start with the thing that maybe you get complimented on a lot. Take that thing, look in the mirror, affirm yourself, right? Make sure that you're dressing and presenting yourself physically in a way that you feel proud of, so you can start to walk more confidently and more proudly. But you have to start with confidence. You are not going to be able to effectively flirt if you don't feel good about yourself, if you're not confident. That's where you're going to have these awkward exchanges, okay? Now, the next thing, convey interest. Now, with conveying interest here, this is like your intention with flirting, right? Your intention with flirting is to convey interest. So if you're not interested, don't do this. This is where we get into that kind of slippery slope of being manipulative or wasting our time, or setting ourselves up to be disappointed, right? Why are we doing that? This should be used for conveying genuine interest, right? And how are you going to do this? Through small gestures, right? So this can be your eye contact. This can be a simple smile, a simple look in the person's direction. It could be small talk. It could be points of relation, like say you're out and maybe they're reacting to something. You could giggle or pay attention to the conversation and ask good follow-up questions. So small gestures, nothing too over the top. Don't take control. Don't be the center of attention. You kind of want to be paying attention and just um lightly like conveying interest. And next, you want to build rapport. Now, here is where you want to actively listen. So whatever they're talking about, like make sure you're listening so that you can actually show them interest by asking meaningful questions, right? Not surface level things that are just general that anyone could say for any topic. This is why you want to actively listen, right? You want to give genuine compliments. And again, everything here is what you really feel. So if you're not feeling them, don't give a compliment. If you don't mean it, don't say it. Go with what you truly feel, what you truly want to convey, right? And then ladies, create an atmosphere. So remember, we're positioning ourselves to be pursued. So you want to create the atmosphere that is charged with positive vibes. So you want to be having a good time. You want to be smiling. You want to be laughing. You want to be enjoying yourself, right? Again, you want to show up pleasant. Here's where you'll have genuine eye contact, small gestures, small hair flips, cute. Not too much that it looks forced. Not too much that you look thirsty. None of that, right? So creating the atmosphere. Good point, honey. Listening to understand what they are saying first versus listening to respond. And this is under rapport, right? If you're building rapport, you have to really be listening so that you can actually value them. You can actually give genuine compliments, give genuine follow-up questions that show you were listening and you're taking an interest, right? And cheat code, ladies, men are used to women being selfish. Okay, they are used to women taking up all the energy. They're used to women wanting all the compliments and wanting it to be about them. You really will stand out if you are listening, letting him talk, and you're fully engaged and enjoying him. He will remember that. He will be impressed by that. If he is interested in you, he will want to pursue that. Okay. So as just kind of a quick recap, right? Your confidence is a prerequisite. You don't even want to attempt the flirting if you're not confident. Your intention with flirting is to convey interest. And you do this with small gestures. Nothing too over the top, nothing too much. Small gestures. This is your eye contact. This is your simple head nod. This is your hair flip. This is your paying attention. All of the small things, right? And then building rapport. This is when there's been the introduction. This is when you're asking meaningful questions. You're actively listening. And then creating an atmosphere, right? Making sure that it's pleasant. Making sure that you're smiling, you're laughing, you look inviting, okay? No resting bee face. Like you want to look approachable. Look like they can speak to you. Now, this last one, this is a mastery tip. This is not for everyone. I'm going to say that, right? If you're not completely confident, if you're not well read, if you're not comfortable with having conversation with men, do not attempt this. Because either you can really do it and it lands, or it falls flat. But the bonus is witty banter. This is if you have a sense of humor. This is where you can have playful exchanges that display lightheartedness, right? You can crack those cute jokes that apply and are applicable to the conversation. You can flip little wittiness, wordplay in the conversation. If this is not something that comes natural to you, practice with your girlfriends. Do not practice as you're attempting to flirt, but it is a bonus cheat code. I mean, I got a husband off of witty banter. It works, trust me. Okay, Alice with the recap. Confidence is a prerequisite. Convey interest, build rapport, create an atmosphere, and bonus is witty banter. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave that there for a minute. Thanks, Alice. Ooh, okay. All right. You know what? We're going to get right into it. Bree, you will be the first one. You will be the first one. So now we're going to have like a little activity, right? Let me just cover Bree's comment first. I don't think she's the only one. I've had this said to me in the past. I was told the other day by a client that I didn't look approachable. I don't know how to fix that. I feel like I look pleasant. I think you need to spend more time in the mirror. And because I know, Bree, you work in a barbershop, there's mirrors all over. You need to constantly be catching a glance, and you might have to overly smile a little bit to the point that it comes a little more naturally, like it'll be a little bit more second nature to soften. I think sometimes it's not necessarily that, we look mean or anything like that, but I think men have to deal with more rejection than we do, right? So even if they think you're beautiful, even if they might be interested, they're going to try to read your level of interest. And this is kind of what I was thinking about in context of, the art of flirting. Men want more of a sure shot, right? Even if they're attracted to you, all of that, they're less likely to try if you look unavailable, unapproachable. So this is why I said, create the atmosphere, look approachable. That means look soft. You don't have to be cheesing and looking uncomfortable. That's awkward. But you definitely want to make sure you're not frowning or looking too serious. I keep kind of like a resting smile. And the way I do that now is I'm literally always trying to think of something happy, something love. Even when I'm working, when I'm doing anything, I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking about my husband. I'm thinking about, Cash App going off. I'm thinking about Stripe going off. I'm thinking of things that are going to brighten me up. Hey, woke up another day, right? So you want to just practice that. Practice smiling. Practice giving out compliments, giving out love, just trying to be more mindful of it. It's not really something you can teach, but I do think the more you focus on happiness, feeling more confident in yourself, you will continue to soften as you do that. So I hope that was helpful. Let's play a little activity, right? You guys give me a scenario and I will tell you how to flirt effectively in that scenario. Here's where we have fun. Okay. Nothing's off limits. Obviously be respectful, but give me a scenario. It would behoove you to give me real scenarios that you dealt with that maybe was awkward for you. Maybe something that's happening and you're not sure if someone's flirting with you. So give me a scenario and I will tell you guys how to flirt. And after that, we can just have regular Q&A. Regular Q&A. And while I wait for you guys, I have to actually type in the coaching gem. I forgot to type it in, but I do want to put it. So speak now or forever hold your peace. No, that's just what you say when you want people to say something. But I see one comment coming in. I'm going to get to you in a minute. All right, let's go ahead and let's see what you said. Okay. All right. Alice says, I was at the gym tonight in the hot tub. A man got in at the same time. Ooh, this is a good one, Alice. This is a good one. If you are not my Facebook friend, I actually did a thread earlier today about like what not to do, right? That's one of the things that I covered. And this is a perfect scenario where it could go completely wrong, right? It could go completely wrong here. You want to make sure that in scenarios like this where it could very easily become sexually charged, like hot tub, you're probably in a bathing suit, you know, a little more showing. You want to make sure that you're kind of towing the line, right? You want to be appropriate. You don't want to give too much. In this instance, if a man got in, right, and I see him, he looks attractive because you don't know anything else unless it's someone you've been observing in the gym or anything like that. But I would just give a little smile. I would start with a smile. Now, if he's smiling back, if he is, you know, looking and it kind of looks like he may be interested, I may say, it depends on the vibe, but I might say something general like, oh, so relaxing, you know, something just very general that can't be taken too far, but it also doesn't set you up to be so thirsty. Like it's just general conversation that he has to kind of fall into. So I would give the smile, give the eye contact, see if the vibe is there. If he doesn't speak first, I might not say anything, but if he's really attractive and I want to kind of try it out, I would just say something general like, "Oh, such a great way to relax, right?" Or if you're a little, what's a good word for ballsy? If you're a little adventurous, you could ask, "Long day?" That shows concern. You know, it's like, oh, she's asking me about me, right? Remember, guys are used to women being very self-centered, very like into themselves. It's kind of rare when women are into them asking about them. So asking a question is also good. All right, there's another one. Ooh, hold on. Okay, Brianna. I told a man that it was nice to see him in his relaxed clothes. I thought that was a cute little, you know, girly thing. I think that's cute. How'd you say it though? Like, you know, it's nice to see you in your relaxed clothes. Or, ooh, it's nice to see you in your relaxed clothes. See, so that's another thing. Like, you know, smiling, giving a little soft gesture, little changes in the, you know, like your tone, how you're approaching it, how you break it up, how you lean in. It's all the nuances. I think that's a cute girly thing though. They may have caught you in a moment while you had something on your mind. If they say you always look unapproachable, now that's another. Oh, that's good perspective, honey. Thank you for Bree. So it could have just been a one-off, but if you hear it often or you hear it from multiple people, that's where maybe you should spend some time, like maybe considering how can you soften. I don't know what you say in another level too. Maybe y'all had a lot of comments here. Maybe you were talking about the witty banter. I'm thinking. Okay, then his response was that woman doesn't like a working man. Oh, he was asking, or maybe he took offense to it. Maybe he doesn't like be like that sounds personal to him. And if a man reacts that way, don't argue, but you can softly clarify. And there's nothing wrong with apologizing for misconceptions, right? I'll use that a lot. Um, like, oh, I apologize. Maybe I didn't say that, and maybe it didn't come out in the way that I intended. I intended it to be a compliment. You see, I soften my tone, I bring it down, I lean in, I smile. It's all of the subtle things. I hope that helps. That's good. Okay, good. Oh, okay. Will saying so he was opening the lines of communication. Maybe he wanted to get you to smile, but that's all he had. Sometimes when I think, again, more of the onus for like pursuing and flirting is usually on the men, right? So that's a lot of responsibility. Again, they deal with more rejection than us. They have a lot more weight on their shoulders, all of that. So it could be sometimes they don't know how to like approach you. It's a shitty way to do it, but a lot of them might be feeling you out like, oh, you didn't look approachable. That's like their way of maybe saying they want to approach you and are unsure. So maybe don't put too much stock into it. Oh, he was getting a haircut and I gently touched his shoulder and everything. Well, sometimes it won't land. I'm sure there were, guys that probably thought they were obviously flirting with you and you didn't catch it. So it could have been a number of things. He could have been having a tough day where his receptors were just off. It could be that he's not interested in you flirting with him. It could be a number of things. But from what you explained, that sounded pretty good. I think the only thing that could throw it off is if you're not really confident in what you're doing. So even if you are following everything I'm saying and you're doing it, but you're not confident with it, it's not really flowing. Like you see how I can very easily just turn it on and go into it. It's because I have a confidence about myself with this. I know that what I'm doing works. I know that I feel confident in myself. So it's easy to do. If you're doing it and you don't necessarily feel like, yeah, then it could come across a little awkward and weird. It was a female client. I've never been told by anyone else. I don't want to generalize, but when a female is telling you that you don't look approachable, it could very well mean she's intimidated by your presence, right? Your presence could just be too big for her that she's saying you don't look approachable. But I wouldn't read too much into it if it's not a theme. Like if it's not three or four unrelated people that see you in different settings or experience you in different circumstances saying that. I would just let it roll off the shoulder, honestly. But men don't approach me. Maybe that's why. If men don't approach you, I don't think there's too many reasons why they don't. Men don't approach you because they don't want to, right? They're not interested. And I'm not saying you like they're not interested in you, but I'm saying in general. If men are not approaching, they're not interested, or if they are, maybe they don't feel comfortable, or it could be a not good time for him, right? He could have things going on, his kids could be around, it could be a number of things. I'm of the mindset that men like to feel comfortable, and because they lead, they like to be like more in control. So let's just say you're in an environment where he doesn't control it, he might be less likely to put himself out there so much. So there's a lot of things to factor in and keep in mind when you're assessing like men and their level of interest. Look, okay, Will says, keep in mind some men lack confidence and are not equipped to approach you in a confident way. That's very true. They want to be successful, right? So if they aren't confident in themselves, remember I said confidence is a prerequisite. That's not just for women, that's for anyone. These situations are not necessarily me attempting to flirt, but just to present more feminine by being friendly and free. Well, then that's a different assessment, though. If you're just trying to be friendly, then it's not really about their receiving of it, unless you're always being told you're not nice or you're not approachable. If that's the response when you're actually trying to be, yeah, you might want to look at, well, why is this not translating the way I want it to? I don't know what the view was for. I'm behind, y'all. Sorry. I'm gonna have to rewatch this. I think all the lessons are like that, right? You hear it and it's kind of like, but then like go out, live some life, like, and try to pay attention for some of the things I'm mentioning, and you'll be able to kind of see it differently and kind of like put different approaches from you onto it. So that was fun. Thank you for the scenarios. And now we're just in our open Q&A. So if anybody has any questions about the lesson or anything, this is our open Q&A time. Free to ask any questions you want. This is literally like what most people look forward to. Okay. Is knowing whether or not a man is flirting fair game here? I don't know if I'm understanding that correctly. So is knowing whether or not a man is flirting fair game here? Can you clarify? I don't know. The way it's worded, maybe I'm missing, and I want to make sure I answer you correctly. So are you saying like, is it important for you to know whether or not he's flirting? Like, I'm sorry. Can you clarify for me, Bree? And thank you so much. Oh, can I ask about the subject? Yeah. Yep. You can ask about anything. It's open Q&A time. You can ask whatever you want. Any scenarios you guys have, anything you want advice on, now would be the time. It doesn't have to be on the topic. It's just open Q&A time, and we do this every week. For those of you who are new, who are tuning in, every week I do a topic-based lesson, and that's what we cover in the first half. It usually takes about 20 minutes, sometimes 30, and then I open it up and it's Q&A. People usually start with questions about the topic if I haven't already clarified, and then they move on to whatever relationship, marriage, sex, any questions or scenarios that they may want advice on. Now would be the time to ask. I know Bree's probably typing, but you all have the floor. And I set aside usually like 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to answer questions that come in. There's usually a ton of them. Okay, here we go. Alice. Pool guy ended up asking for my number. Here's my issue. Was with me and ended up getting in the hot tub. I don't know. Are you saying your son was with you? This man turned into instant. Oh, yes. Okay. So your son was with you and ended up getting into the hot tub. This man turned into instant stepdad and started talking to my son outside of my earshot. How do I handle men flirting with me or asking me out when I have my son with me? You know what? I'm going to give you a general response, but Alice, I'm going to ask Will to give you a more thorough response, because the last time we talked about men who are interested in like single moms, how they go about integrating the kids, he said some things from the male perspective that I would have never kind of factored in that way. And I want you to have that perspective as well. So please make sure you post this in the membership as well, so we can dig deeper there. But I think it's important to let people know your boundaries right away, right? Because if you don't address it, it will continue. It'll happen again. A person is not going to know something's an issue if you don't say anything. So I would just politely kind of like try to pull him to the side, like away from your son, so it's not embarrassing. Definitely don't raise your voice, and just I kind of would probably do like a compliment sandwich. So like start off with, "Oh, I think it's really cool that you like kids, and you were so open, to talk to my son." Compliment. Then you address the behavior. It's really important to me that I slowly integrate my son into dating or meeting people. So I would really prefer if you run things by me first, in regards to like creating a bond with him, or like just talking to him, just because I'm really protective of that. Again, I love that you love kids and you're so excited about like bonding. So you see, like compliment sandwich. Tell them something good, address the behavior, end it with something good. And we'll talk more about that in the membership, because that we have to talk about the different dynamics, right? How men see involvement with your kids. And sometimes they really mean no harm, and they do not know that it's offensive in some cases, and that it makes some women feel like unsafe. So we will talk about that. All right, Facebook user, I don't know who you are. I'm so sorry. You have to grant StreamYard access so that I can see your name, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you for your question. Is it a way to tell when a man is interested in you? I think sometimes I miss the mark. Absolutely. I think you need to look for the subtleties, right? So I would look for if you get different treatment, right? So if he's a little overly nice to you, if he's a little more interested in you, if he's trying to be helpful to you, like I would pay attention to things like that, seeing if how he treats you, how he tends to you, is different than how you observe him with others. So that's the first thing I would look at that. And pay attention for the signs. Like obviously men aren't going to be flipping their hair and like doing the girly things, but they're going to make eye contact. Some of them might lick their lips, they might motion to you, they might head nod, they're going to give like some sort of body language, their eye contact, different things like that. So pay attention for cues like that, and listen for how he talks to you too. Like, is he really paying attention to you? Is he asking questions about you? Those are all things that you can pay attention for. Okay. If a man is flirting, you'll know because he has already made up in his mind what kind of response he wants from you. If he doesn't get it, he'll keep trying. He'll keep trying. Okay, honey. Okay, Brianna. I don't think I'm in a position to date. I don't have consistent care for my child to commit time to dating. It's quite isolating. Any advice? Man, Bree, thank you for bringing this up, because I'm sure there are many women in this place, especially if you've moved somewhere and right, you don't have a whole network, you don't have a big community. So literally you don't have that many options for childcare to begin with. And then they can be unreliable, right? I would literally try to figure out how to date within the time that you do have. So when your kid's at work, and I'm speaking because a lot of the women that, I work with, my clients, they're entrepreneurs. They run their own schedule. So they're not confined to a 9-to-5 desk job or anything like that. So I would try to fit in dates like where you already have built-in childcare, when your kids with, your mom, when they're at school, when they're in activities, when you can get some free time, and just have mini dates. I would also think about like virtual kind of dates. I'm seeing people get really creative with virtual dates that maybe you can do when he's asleep at night. So things like that. And also I mean, I would set intentions that I meet men that will help me figure that out, right? A man that is really interested in you, he knows, like, if you're a single mom, that's a typical barrier, right? That's not just something for you, Brie. I mean, when I met Will, when he asked me, to come visit him, like, so we could have a proper date, we weren't living in the same place, he took care of childcare. That was a part of it. They're my kids. I don't have a built-in babysitter. Like, I have to work that out. So he made sure that childcare was taken care of so that I could be comfortable and enjoy my time with him. So that's what I would say. Work within the confines that you do have. Make the most of the time that you do have. Get creative, and don't count yourself out, though. Don't say you're not in a position to date. Just say it's a little more challenging for you right now, and we're manifesting a man that's going to help you figure it out. That's what I would recommend. Oh, it's Toya. Hey, Toya. Did I miss a question? Oh, yeah. Okay, I already answered Toya's question. Did you hear the answer? Okay, hold up. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to miss nothing. Okay, so everybody's saying Toya's question was a good one. That happens to me a lot since I'm in a barbershop. They try to shoot their shot through Noah often. I'm not sure how to handle that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it might be a cheat code. Maybe one of the guys wanna chime in. Again, we're gonna have a further discussion about this in the membership, because I think it's something that really deserves a robust conversation. And you ladies, you're having your lesson this month with Will. So he can answer all y'all questions. Okay? Don't let him off the hook. Y'all don't let me off the hook. Don't let him off the hook. Okay, a question to Will. Will, you're paying attention, so you can type your answer in. A question to Will. My son does not have his dad. He is starting to see the guys at the shop as male figures, and I don't like how one of the barbers talks about Noah to me, or how he talks to Noah. Oh, honey, what do you recommend? And there's a second part to the question. So shut that crybaby stuff up. He mentions what I need to do to improve his behavior. I don't know if this is something I should bring up to him or if I'm being too protective. Is that kind of language good for him? I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say and allow Will to type in his response, right? Couple things to keep in mind, Bree, and I'm talking to you from experience because I had to learn this. Okay, when I left my ex-husband, my children's father, they didn't have a male figure either. And when Will came into my life, and he was a solid male presence, he never said shut that crybaby stuff up. Okay, no, I don't think those words are appropriate. However, I do want you to keep in mind that the male and female, the masculine and the feminine, they're different, right? That's why we need both. The feminine is going to be the soft, the nurturing, that's my baby. I'm going to use all the coddle words. I'm going to hug him, all of that. The masculine knows that they have to be stern. The masculine knows that boys need a sternness to respect, right? They know that it does not benefit, especially young Black boys, it does not benefit them not to be given sternness and structure so that they are not fragile. Okay? I don't know how else to say it. So keep in mind that men kind of have this mindset that they need to toughen the boys up. They need to prepare them for life. Let the women coddle them, right? However, I think the best way to go about this, again, compliment sandwich. Hey, I think it's really cool how you take an interest in, being a male figure for Noah and like supporting me with that. And I really appreciate that. My only concern is I really don't like the words that you're using. I respect that you want to make sure he's tough, he can handle himself, and he's not too fragile. I agree with you. Thank you. However, can we refrain from, calling him a baby, telling him he can't cry, and things like that? Can we figure out a different way to do that? So soft and sweet. You're still thanking him. You're not being off-putting, but you are letting him know that that's not okay to talk to your son like that. And I'm assuming that Will is typing in. But Alice, I hope you saw what Will said. The man recognized that your son was with you, so he wanted to make the point of attraction twofold. He's probably used to teaching or mentoring young men, so that was natural in his mind, along with the interest in you. This was his way of letting you know he recognizes you are a mom and he's cool with that. Coming on too strong, I'm sure, would be a turnoff. So again, this is why it's important to have men that you respect and you trust that could tell you certain nuances like this, right? Because I'm not going to be thinking totally like, oh, he wanted to make the connection twofold with your son. In general, I'm like, he's being respectful of that. He knows your son is with you. He's probably thinking that's a good way to get in. So keep that in mind. Oh, hey, mommy. My mom's on. Okay, thank you, Toya. You love my response. Thank you. Well, Alice, you got it. Okay, so Brianna, here's what Will said. That type of language and talk is unacceptable. That's reserved for the men in your family, a coach or your partner who you have okayed working with your son or your partner. So there you go. That's a man agreeing with you. Like, that language is not okay. Okay, good. You saw what he said and you appreciate the perspective. Awesome. Y'all got good questions. Anyone else? I got through all the ones that I see in the chat. I'm going back up just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Y'all is on fire. Any other questions? This is the open Q&A time. So I've already reviewed the lesson. If you have any questions about flirting specifically, or just anything in general about relationships, love, marriage, divorce, I'll even coach you on that. Okay. No, I think I'm all caught up on oh, hold on, something is coming through. Hold on. Oops, hold on, guys. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. I don't know. It's like slow to pull up. Give me a second. Okay, this was so good. I'm glad. You feel the shift coming, huh? We always have the signs. Good. We are here to support you, Bree. We are here to support you. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go over my coaching gem. If any other questions or comments come in during that time, I'll make sure to review them before I close out the live. But here is my coaching gem. So flirting should not be seen as an aimless manipulation tactic. You already know I'm not teaching that. Instead, see it as an opportunity to display genuine interest without pursuing or stepping out of your femininity. It's a way to let a man know he can shoot a shot. Okay? It is a way for us to position ourselves to be pursued. So I hope that perspective shift can kind of help you guys a little bit. Oh yeah. Yep. My husband said that's good, Bree. All right. So again, if you are new here, I'm Deanna. Please consider Destination Deanna your self-help learning library for all things like love, relationships, love attraction, marriage, anything that you would need in order to like prepare yourself for lifelong commitment, and healthy relationships. That's the goal, right? We want to see more people in healthy, happy relationships. So please like the live, share the channel, make sure you're subscribed and you have your notifications turned on. Please go to Destination Deanna. Get familiar. You can see my story, see how I got started, see what I've been through, what I'm doing now. You'll see all of the services that we offer with my company, Love Coverage. Go to destinationdeanna.com. If you are into journaling, I do have a love attraction journal that has prompts for you to take you through the journey from like trauma to like healed, healthy, and happy, right? And I'm here every Monday. So every Monday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, I do a topic-based lesson. So we're usually here about 45 minutes to an hour. The first 20 to 30 minutes is a lesson, and then we have open dialogue Q&A. So please, we would love to get to know you better, see you here every Monday with us. You guys are funny. So just more comments coming in. And that's all of these people are in our Love Attraction community, our free Facebook group. So if you're on Facebook, please join our community there. We continue the conversations. We have fun, but we also learn. Yes, I was definitely coming from an intention of manipulation. I want men to give me money. Nothing wrong with that. There has to be a balance. Remember, if you want something so bad, you almost repel it. So you have to find a balance, right? It's a requirement. It's something that you will enjoy, but you got to be careful not to border on like desperation or too much focus on it, or you will repel it. And God is still working on me. Nothing wrong with wanting money though. Like I'm not one of those people. You all know I likes the abundance. I likes a good life, and there's nothing wrong with that, ladies. Shooting his shot doesn't mean you're the range for him. Okay. Come on now. Yes, that's a good name. Y'all definitely have us covered. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I love you all so much. Please remember that God is love. We are of God. So attracting love should be easy, especially when you have me as your guide. I love you all. See you next week.